Welcome back to another episode of Classical Violinist Reacts to the music from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It is now June, and I have not been able to stop thinking about or talking about this game and its music. I've had a lot of time to listen to the soundtrack since last video, and I have so many thoughts. So why don't we just dive right back into the soundtrack? The first track I would like to discuss is actually one I meant to do for the last video but ran out of time. It is the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth main theme battle edit. Here we go. Immediately, it's just super high energy from the get-go, right? We hear the main theme, but actually this entire track is, of course, a really clever juxtaposition of the Final Fantasy VII main theme and the main battle theme, Let the Battles Begin. You can hear motives from both tracks just back and forth and at the same time constantly. I'll throw the real main theme in here because the notes are a little bit different. So it's already a little bit of a development on the main theme, just to give it more of a action, exciting change of pace from the calm, very pleasant version we are used to, which, just played in this grasslands area. Oh gosh, that's another thing that's so neat about this music is that, and Rebirth is not the first game to do this. I thought the way Nier did it was especially effective, but you get the overworld theme, the regular theme, and then the battle edit that just seamlessly goes in and out on top as you go in and out of battle, which is just so brilliant and so effective because you get to hear all the music. It's not as annoying when the music starts and stops when you enter battle. You get to hear it all, and it feels much more organic. So when we just dive right into this battle theme, the entire thing is super energetic and just it immediately puts you into battle no matter where you land in the track. Sorry, I feel like I'm already starting to tangent a little bit. All right, let me just start from the beginning again, sorry. So from the beginning, we already have a development of the main theme. Da 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 da. At the same time, we have dun 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 dun, which is not the same notes as the battle theme, but it is the same rhythm. And I'm sure, Final Fantasy VII did not invent this rhythm, this dot 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 dot, but it is so iconic of the Final Fantasy VII battle theme. So it's like every time it appears, it automatically links it to that, even if it's just the rhythm. It's just so immediately recognizable and a huge part of this soundtrack's DNA. This chord! We're immediately met with this feeling of anxiety. This is not the regular main theme that we're used to. It's constantly full of surprises and keeping you on your toes as far as the harmonies are concerned. And there we finally have da 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 da. We finally have the Let the Battles Begin motivic figure, the melodic fragment of Let the Battles Begin, whereas before we just had the rhythm going. Now we actually have the melody that was teased before. I love that little string line. Da, 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 da. It's just, all these little lines that add so much extra context to what's going on. Of course, the brass have the melody there, and the strings just have this descant line, but then the strings take over. I have such a hard time stopping it. There's just so much going on, but it's so efficient in what it's doing. It's like, you know, we've got strings going da 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 constantly underneath, not something that draws your attention, but if it wasn't there, you would miss it just because it provides that extra energy. The brass are doing all of these like fanfare-ish, powerful things. The upper strings with the soaring lines, the flutes and other woodwinds providing all kinds of support and flourishes. And it's just, nothing is wasted. Everything is important. Everything is just there to support this huge energy that we're getting in this incredible battle theme that really sets the tone for the rest of the soundtrack. Da 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 is not exactly dun 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 da 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 da. It's not the same notes, but it's the same idea, right? You still have that rhythmic figure underneath of the battle theme, but da 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 da, just the running eighth notes in a similar kind of pattern kind of calls back to that without being like a direct copy. It's like a fresh new version of that. I love this moment here because, you know, the brass are going, da 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 da. Like it sounds like a new thing, but then it continues with da 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 da, and you realize it was actually the main theme all along because this part of the main theme is da 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 da, right? So the brass is not playing it note for note, but it's just like a development of that figure. Interrupted by da 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 da, and then it continues da 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 da, like with this really lovely resolution. Let's listen to that again. Da 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 da. Another main theme reference, but a little bit different. Basically, the main theme is just being played around with and developed in so many different ways to fit these new harmonies that they're adding in here for increased excitement and tension building. Main theme. I love that little callback to, I don't know, was it in the original main theme or maybe the remake version? That little callback. Da 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 da. It's like we almost get back to that kind of more peaceful version of the theme before ramping right back up again. Oh. This is like my favorite part. The strings there. That's such a fun type of thing to play. Sorry, we're gonna listen to that again. For me. Again, it's just so efficient and everything that's going on. The rhythmic energy continues without stopping. There's the really juicy string lines on top. The flutes are doing this whole thing. That's the total technical term for it. But, you know, it's just everything adds to it in a way that your ear is drawn to what's most important and everything else is just supporting that. But there's also all of these colors going on. So if all that extra stuff wasn't there, it wouldn't be nearly as impactful as it is. Again, with the woodwinds doing the flourishes, and then the strings flourishing at the end. Just continuing to build that energy throughout the whole time. And then these juicy chord changes here. So here it goes back to kind of where we started. It even has the same violin line, da 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 da. So it feels a little bit like, you know, a return to the same material. We are now almost 2 minutes into the track, but this track is not done. It's not a loop, it's just a return to the beginning material. I love when it has these just extra contrapuntal lines where it's just kind of embellishing on the same motives that are happening. Da 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 ba ba. The horn line there, it just adds so much. Again, da 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 with the bum 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 underneath. And so far this has been a pretty similar repeat of that section. So instead of just continuing the loop that we had kind of started, we get a new section where, like, instead of continuing on, it repeats the section that just happened, except modulated up. And it just has this extra feeling of urgency. It feels like this, like, this reprisal of the material we just heard, but one more time with feeling, everyone. And it's just so effective, especially this part right here. This part right here. It's just the strings. Da 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 da. That part of the melody already feels very like it is arriving, so it's especially effective here. Da 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 in the horns. Love it. And then that just is a total surprise, right? I mean, it's in the original main theme, right? This is the part where it goes to that kind of anxious other section, where it becomes kind of creepy and unsettling. So that's where we think we're going here. Almost 3 minutes into the track. Da 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 dum bum bum ba da 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 dum. Did you hear that little quote of the battle theme underneath all of that? This is the transition into that more anxious part of the main theme that we think we are going into, right? The harmony starts to get really unsettling here, and we got this da 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 figure, which is a little reminiscent of Genova, but also just kind of like a generally creepy thing to have. And that was from the original main theme as well. What happened? Normally it would go da 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 ba 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 da 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 da. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to sing this, so I'm just gonna throw it in. So it was teased that we're going to that section, and then it was just like, nope, da 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 da, right back to the beginning. And what's so neat, I didn't notice it at first, but the more I listened to it, we never hear that part of the main theme. In all of the versions we get in Rebirth, we never hear that anxious part, that unsettling part of it, until we get to chapter 11. And then, only then, we hear it, and that's all we hear of the main overworld theme. We just hear the anxious, unsettling part. It is just so effective that they make us wait that long, and then we get it. And it's so satisfying to hear that. So this track on its own was always fantastic to hear, and we heard it in the trailer, but it's especially neat to think of it in terms of where it is in the soundtrack as a whole, because it's really just setting us up for the soundtrack and the rest of the game. Just so good. So good. Thanks so much for listening. I'm really enjoying making these types of videos, so I hope you're enjoying watching them. I have some other ideas for videos like this I want to do. Like, I really want to do a video talking about the final battle tracks in the game. So if you're interested in that, I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. I'm really enjoying deep diving into this music, and I love sharing what I've discovered about it, so I hope you're enjoying it too. Thanks so much. I'll see y'all next time.